Hello and welcome to Rocket League School, from beginner to experience it. I am Sonix and I will be your coach for this series. My main aim is to make you go, as the title says it, from beginner to experience it, and make you able to rivalize with outstanding players out there. In this tutorial, we won't really talk about stuff such as press X to jump, square to drift, or triangle to ball cam. Those are already covered by the tutorials, and I'm assuming you have already done them. If not, please pause the video and do it. You ought not to be a complete beginner. So we will focus on more important things that you are most likely not getting from elsewhere. Alright, let's get started. First off, believe me or not, there is a lot of science behind Rocket League. I will not discuss that, since the series itself will be a proof. And although there is no such thing as playing Rocket League properly, there are a few things you should know before hopping into the game. So, we are going to divide Rocket League knowledge into two main categories: skills and tactics. This is more or less what makes any Rocket League player. So you're gonna ask me, "Hey Zied," that's my name actually. "Hey Zied, what do you mean by skill? Isn't tactics and skills the same thing?" Well, they are not, at least for the sake of this tutorial. By skills I mean what you can do with the ball. How easily can you backflip? What tricks can you pull out? How good are you at aiming your shots? Can you reverse aerial? Etc. So yeah, let's start with that. Do you know the famous quote by Will Smith about skill? I think he said it on ABC, the American channel. Not during a movie anyway. Actually, Will, can you please say it again for us? The separation of talent and skill is one of the greatest misunderstood concepts for people who are trying to excel, who have dreams, who want to do things. Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft. So, thank you, Will. That was a neat reminder. We'll talk about talent later on. As for now, we'll just take the second part of this wise speech. So, in a nutshell, skill in Rocket League is only developed by hours and hours of beating at your controller. Or keyboard, but I advise you to have a controller for Rocket League purposes. That's far as it goes. In order for you to get skilled, you need to train hard, which really covers more or less free play modes and training and online games. Tactics, on the other hand, can be learned in a few minutes, or it could take you hundreds of hours. If you're lucky enough, someone will get you exposed to the major concepts early. Well, good for you, I'm here for that. Tactics involve more or less when to go for the ball. Actually, one of the best players out there once told me, and I don't remember who it was, whoever you are, thank you. So, he told me what makes the difference between a good and a brilliant player is when not to go for the ball. So, what does it say? It says that no matter how skilled you are, if you're not being wise, you're still only a good player. And I don't want you to be a good player, right? I want you to be a brilliant player. And this is a pretty interesting concept. There's a relationship between tactics and skills. This will be our center of interest during the first lessons. Now we are going to start our learning with some proper gameplay. Are you ready? Let's go. First, with this defense clip. As I'm getting back to protect my goal, I replenish my boost. Now this is a tricky situation. The wrong way to do this is to just drive until I get in front of the goal and then somehow turn and hope that the ball isn't going fast enough so I could catch it. I am going to choose a different approach. I have ball cam on all the time during this phase, so I am actually aware of the ball's trajectory. This way I can control the situation. Now I could block the ball if it was a ground shot by just braking, but if it happened to go in the air, I would have to pull out a crazy aerial to actually make the save. And if the shot is strong enough, I won't even have time to get some air. So I drive on the walls, and now my initial position is already high enough. Opponent goes for a strong shot right on the corner. I am carefully following the ball, then jump in the right moment so I don't fall inside the goal, and while being on the right trajectory. And there you go. Well saved. I know this really looks hard at first, and I've been a little bit lucky, but I promise you, I do this all the time. It's all about doing the right thing in the right moment, and it comes with practice. Next we got this counterattack starting with a favorable push. Now I could have tried to catch the ball and drive it in with no boost, but that would have been risky. Instead, I position myself in front of the ball and replenish my tank. While I do this, you can notice that for a few seconds I can see all the blue players on that side of the field. There is no sign of my teammates, thus they must be behind me. So I take a turn and try to look for one of them, and as expected, a teammate took the opportunity and smurfed that smurf in. This clip is a good example of how tactics and skills amount into awesome things. I wasn't really talking to this player. No verbal communication is needed. It all happens in your brain. He clearly had both the skill and the knowledge to keep up with my strategy. Number 3 is a pretty cool aerial I made during the same match. To start off, there is no proper defending here, as all the players are stacked up in the same zone. Judging from its first bounce, the ball is going to hit that specific area between the pitch and the walls. Since it has enough velocity, I know by experience that it will probably get in the air. So I jump to prepare myself and get some altitude. The tactical part ends here. Now my prediction appears to be slightly wrong, so I correct my trajectory by giving small boost impulses. Then I hit the ball with the right surface and the right angle. This was purely skill, so I don't expect you to do that from the very beginning. But what I expect you to do is to try. The only way to learn how to fly is to actually fly. Always go for aerials. You'll miss a lot before you begin to hit and start scoring goals. Let's play it again so you can see what it looks like on the go. Remember, doing aerials will grant you a remarkable advantage over your opponents since the ball is in the air most of the time. Not being able to fly is a huge setback, so practice that as much as you can. Our next topic is a very important aspect of Rocket League: ball cam. What you see in the bottom left of the screen is the ball cam indicator. It appears when you either hold or toggle ball cam. We'll discuss the hold versus toggle issue in a later video. Personally, I use the hold setting because I am used to it. If you played real-life football or soccer in the US to a certain competitive level, you were probably told by your coach that you should not look at the ball when dribbling. In Rocket League, it's not the same thing. You need to have ball cam on 90% of the time. With a little practice, you won't even have to look for the boost pads since you'll memorize their location, so you could drive there without even looking where you're going. You can see that in this clip I can't even see my car, yet I still manage to control the ball and orientate my play. What you've just witnessed here is called a steal. If your teammate doesn't need your help, avoid stealing the goal. But be careful, sometimes it is necessary, so when in doubt, just score. You can also use the white marker below the ball to get a better appreciation of where it is really. Here's another good example where all the things we've mentioned earlier are combined. Get boost, walls, aerials and ball cam. Lastly, I advise you to never stay static as a goalkeeper. Always have some momentum and be prepared. You shouldn't also stay on the ground. Jump so you can cover more area. Here you can see that if the goalkeeper either jumped earlier or drove towards me, he would have blocked my shot. Alright, that was it. I hope this first video wasn't very confusing to you. Remember, Rocket League is more than just kicking ball. Don't rush. In a nutshell, I would say that skills are the things you make without having to think, while tactics are the conscious decisions you make. My advice is to play a lot of online games to improve your skill. Be creative and try to experiment as much as you can so you can find your own style. You will also learn tactics the hard way, through experience and mistakes. Don't get too impressed by players better than you. Keep playing and one day you'll eventually beat them. But don't forget the most important thing. Have fun. If you've been wondering why there is no car customization in this video, the answer is because all the footage was taken from the last 3 days of the PS4 beta. You may also have noticed some bugs like the black dots appearing on the walls, or even major changes depending on when you watch this video. I would like to thank my friend Linkuru for his invaluable feedback, along with Fami for answering all my questions. I will leave links to their respective channels down below. You should definitely check them out. Also, special thanks to the amazing wizards at Psyonix for making such a masterpiece. As you see, its simplicity is its utter complexity. If you have any questions regarding the gameplay itself or Rocket League in general, feel free to ask them in the comments. I will also appreciate any constructive criticism regarding how the next lessons should be. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe. I will be doing more Rocket League content once the game releases. I'll leave you now with this gameplay. I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next video. Bye bye.